So I just played Night in the Woods, and I didn't think I was gonna do anything with it. I thought I was just gonna scrap the whole idea because, to be honest, when I finished it, I didn't get it. But then I went to bed and I woke up and I was thinking about it, and I think I understand it, I guess, maybe, or I at least understand the point of it now. And I just wanted to ramble and talk about it because I think it was a pretty good game. And I think it is almost telling the future because there's some dialogue in this game that is so pertinent to stuff that's happening right now that it's crazy. Anyway, spoilers, obviously. For everyone who hasn't played Night in the Woods, basically, storyline, you are a 20-year-old girl named May who dropped out of college and went back to her hometown because she's got nowhere else to go, so you're kind of at your end of your rope or whatever. And then you just hang out with your friends and talk, and then some mysterious stuff happens and you uncover a mystery, It's basically what happens. Now, getting right into it, I think the main message of this entire game, if I just had to pick one, because there's a whole bunch of themes you could glean from this. It's a lovely game with a lot of complex things, but the main message I think it's trying to convey, I think there is something beautiful about being unable to not be yourself, and something extremely useful in not being able to do so, because our main character May is, like, I don't know, physically incapable, but is quite literally incapable of not being her. There are some times that you pick dialogue options and she'll just say the complete not thing that you chose. Dude, I did not choose that.
Bro, that's that Walking Dead shit, bro.
And it's just coming out of her head. I think that's on purpose, because she has to be her. I think that's one of the reasons she even dropped out of college, is that isn't her. Along with other things, obviously, in the game. But everyone in this game is hiding something. Like, her dad, alcoholic and abusive, apparently, or attempted to be abusive at some point. Her mother, mood swings, and has this evangelical, side to her that she wants her daughter to go to church constantly. But doesn't really say it. Her friend Bay is trapped at working at their parents' store and running it by herself because her dad is basically a bum after their mother died. Angus has deep-rooted childhood issues that are insane. Hella abusive, thrown in a closet type shit. And Greg is a fun-loving person, but has this not good enough savior kind of complex going on. And May has a similar thing, but I think the funny part is she almost can't even hide it if she wanted to, because everyone already knows. The only thing that May is, well, there's a couple things that May is ashamed about, but the thing that she is hiding, I guess, per se, that everyone already knows about, is that she beat up this kid when she was in middle school, and now everyone in the town calls her killer, because she put this kid in a hospital. Now, the reason she did this was because when she was a kid, she was playing a game, and she realized that the pixels on the screen weren't really real. She actually realized that everything wasn't real. And not in the game sense of like, oh, we're in a video game, nothing's real. Like, in lore, in world, she realized nothing is anything. It's just shapes. It's just her interpretation and what value she puts onto things that give it meaning at all. Other than that, it's just nothing. And that freaked the fuck out of her. And if you want to go even deeper into like, okay, yeah, it's scary to realize that like almost nothing matters because we're all gonna die one day. But no, I don't think that was even the main problem. The problem was she was grieving the death of everything. She was grieving the death of basically her life, of everyone around her, because she knew that everything was just what she thinks about it. Nothing actually fucking matters. Nothing actually... The universe doesn't care. It's just a whole bunch of blocks and shapes, and eventually they'll be gone. And the only thing that you have is what you think about the things that are in front of you, and that's it. And there is no better parallel storytelling than her and the cult. Because I think the reason that the monster in the hole, or whatever you want to call it takes a liking to her, which is what the cult says that it does, is because May is the antithesis of what the cult members are doing. And they're two sides of the same coin in this sense. But the cult members realized that nothing meant anything, and that they were losing their town to decay and natural, like, you know, small town can't support itself, and they denied it. So they denied it so much that they would rather sacrifice the quote-unquote the people that wouldn't be missed to the hole so that their town could be refurbished. And the question that keeps ringing out everywhere, the obvious question that no one seems to be asking, even the cops don't seem to be asking, is why? And now it seems obvious, it's like because they wanted to refurbish the town. But why would you want to bring back life to this town where it doesn't even look like it's working that well? Like, what is prosperity? What does that mean? Does that mean a bountiful harvest? Does that mean flowers? Because obviously in the game, no one is shopping at any of the malls or the stores you go into. That everyone refers to how these things are in, how any of these places are still in business is a mystery. I don't know about anyone else, but I think the point is that there is beauty in small things. Why would you want to like keep your town on life support and have it infrastructure and have railroads and fucking and highways built? Because at what point is it not the same town anymore? At what point, how many pieces of wood do you have to replace before it's not the same boat? And the other thing is, what's the point of keeping your town alive if you can't save the people in it that need it most? If you can't save Casey, if you can't save May, if you can't save all these homeless people that are hanging out at the edge of town, what's the point of refurbishing your town and keeping it up to date and cycling this new blood into this ritual sacrifice if you can't even protect the people that need it most? And I think that's the scariest part of all of this, is I don't think there's anything in that hole. I don't think there's anything down there other than the corpses they threw down there. I think that them doing this is almost a symbolic representation of how nowadays, or modern day, or I guess back in 2017, then how older generations and how old systems sacrifice the young and the impoverished and the down on their luck and the poor and the and everyone who needs help, so that they could keep a system in place that doesn't even work. And May is the antithesis of this, because May's redeeming quality, or I guess special skill, because everyone always says that she's kind of useless and she doesn't really know anything, she doesn't really do anything, but May's skill is probably the most important, and the one skill that no one seems to use, and it's to take interest in other people. The cult this whole time is trying to keep the city alive, and May is caring about and talking to the individuals that are in the city that you get involved in. You can help so many people. If you talk to people in this town, you can actually change their, I guess, lives. Like, you know, you can't, like, give them $1 billion or anything, but, like, for example, the poet girl, I think her name is Shaylee or Shelly or something. She, if you keep talking to her and keep listening to her poems, she will deliver this, she will create a bomb poem that speaks so true to the human condition. Or just right now condition. It talks about how everything is fucking expensive. I highly recommend you look it up. It's called There's No Reception in Possum Springs. It talks about how there's no the money just keeps going up, and we keep repeating this cycle and getting less and less out of it. And the way that May and the cult react to this fear of nothing meaning anything is so weirdly similar and yet completely different. It's so weird because May even says that she can understand what the cult members are going through, because she describes it as like a firefly or a moth being around a lantern and then like the light going out, and you have no anchor and you're just floating off into nothing, and you have nowhere where you needed to go. You have nowhere to, everything you grounded yourself on is gone, and you're completely unlifted. And the way the cult reacts to this is to try to cling to the old, try to cling to the past, trying to cling to maybe if the town gets better, we'll get better. And May's whole reaction is completely opposite. It's opposite, but it's the same, but the opposite, as what I'm trying to get at. May's reaction is, if nothing means anything, I want to hold on to something so hard that I leave a mark on it. And I want to love something so hard that it leaves some kind of impact, that it meant something to at least me. I want it to hurt, I want it to be bad, and I want it to throw me off. I want it to fling me out into nothingness, and I want to hold on until I physically can't anymore, so that I know when I let go and I lose everything, that at the very least it meant something to me. And the difference between these responses, because they sound similar, it sounds like May and the cult would want the same thing. Like they're clinging and holding on to something, and they just need to let go of it. But that's not the message. The message is the cult is trying to cling to something that's not even real. It's not, like, I don't know how else to explain that. They're trying to cling to something that's, first of all, wasn't made by them, isn't real, doesn't care about them, and honestly shouldn't even exist in the first place. Like, you know, keeping the city alive, and you're trying to keep it alive for what? So you can sacrifice more kids so that people can put in condos? There's no purpose behind what you're doing other than the prosperity of the city, which, what the fuck does that mean? And May is on the completely opposite end, where you're like, okay, well then she should let go of, you know, all the shit that she's doing, but she's not talking about holding on to her house or physical things. May is talking about holding on to the connections to all the other people in her life, because in a fucked up sort of way, that really is the only thing that is real. May wants to hold on to the connections, she wants to hold on to the memories, she wants to hold on to the love that she feels for all of her friends, and at the end of the game, really everyone you talked to and had a great time with in town. That's what she's holding on to, and she wants to hold on to it so tightly and so badly that when eventually she can't do it anymore, and eventually she's thrown off, and the universe says fuck you, and she's pushed off, and she can't hold on anymore, and she's too weak to do so, she wants to at least know that when she's falling into nothing, that she left a mark somewhere, and that it meant something to her, because at the end of everything, hold on to anything, because that's the only thing that's really real.
Keeps me on the line.